You're very welcome back. Now, knowing his purpose in life was to help others, becoming a firefighter seemed like the right fit for our next guest.
He's wearing the uniform this morning, everybody, from fighting fires to becoming an author. John Edmonds joins us now. Good morning. How are you, John?
Good morning, guys. I'm good.
It's
How are you?
lovely to have you here. You got involved in firefighting a lot later in life. You worked as other things. Were you in your 30s when you became a firefighter?
I was in my late 20s. Like everyone else at the time, I left school at a young age and I had to go and work. So I ended up on a building site for about 6 months doing carpentry, and I realised this was not for me. Early mornings, late nights and rain didn't cut it for me. So I went to my local garage and I asked for a job, a car garage, and they gave me a job initially on Saturdays, and I worked there for 12 years. Eventually becoming the branch manager. Yeah. So they moved me from the floor into the office fairly early on. I realised I like to be around people, work with people. I don't know if that's because I was really bad at fixing cars or good at dealing with people.
And you missed the buzz. You missed the buzz, like, of being out meeting people and then
exactly.
to get into the fire service.
Yeah, so what happened there was I was at a car show with my son then in about 2010 or 2011. And in the car show, there was a fire service demonstration on where they actually had taken a car apart, and we were watching them take a car apart, and I was standing there looking at it, and I was like, wow, I'm so used to putting cars back together in a professional way, and these are taking it apart. And then I got talking to them, and they were telling me everything that the fire service does in terms of, like, you know, dealing with the public, helping people, being around people. And I knew that, you know, as amazing as my job was, it wasn't fulfilling. There was something else in me that I needed to do. And from talking to these guys at this show, I was like, oh, that's it now. I knew from that day forward, I was like, everything I need to do needs to push me towards becoming a firefighter. It took me 5 years before the applications opened, and eventually applied and got the job. But I had worked behind the scenes in them 5 years on becoming, from volunteering and doing first aid courses and everything that I needed to do. And I eventually...
And then you became a firefighter because there was a moratorium. That's incredible.
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, so initially I worked for Kildare Fire Service from 2015 up until 2023. And then in 2023, I moved to Dublin Fire Brigade.
What's it like? Paul Knapp is our firefighting chef, is what we call him here, and he tells us about the mental and physical issues that there are being a firefighter, because it is not an easy job. You're going into extreme situations from people who perhaps have been very hurt, accidents, some suicides that you're dealing with. How is it for you?
Yeah, so it is quite difficult. Like, it's not an easy job, so you kind of have to know that you want to do it from the get-go. And I think half the battle is knowing that you want to help people. So in terms of fires, you know, you will be going in, you will see the worst of stuff. You will also see the best of stuff where people have been saved and prevention comes into it. But in terms of dealing with it, like, you know, there's protocols in place called critical incident stress management that the fire brigade have, which basically helps people deal with the difficult situations that they see. And look, the most important thing to do is, if you do come across anything, whether it be a suicide or a fire, is that you speak about your feelings. And the fire brigade, certainly me personally, they have helped me be able to speak when, you know, things are getting to me, and they've helped me come out and talk about it, which makes it a lot easier, because that is kind of the thing with men, isn't it, where they don't really want to speak about their feelings and they bottle them up. So there's protocols in place, there's things in place, and it helps you get it out there and helps you speak. And then obviously personally, people de-stress in different ways, whether it be running or the gym. All that kind of stuff then helps.
Talk to us about the fitness levels for it, because we talked about the guards here. We were doing it recently, that they've gotten rid of some of the tests and stuff, but you guys and girls must be incredibly fit.
Yeah, so yeah, the firefighter fitness, especially when you're applying for the job, like, it's rigorous. Like, you know, there's loads of different exams, but when you are in the college for 16 weeks training, yeah, you need to have, like, a serious level of fitness. Like, it's just stamina, really, and every day the officers just have you just going over it and they break you right down and then they build you right back up.
So army style?
Oh, army style, yeah, like boots polished, shorts ironed every morning, parade. Like, yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. You wouldn't think it, but it's very like regimental and disciplined, yeah, so there'll be no acting out. But everyone's a professional at the end of the day as well, so you take these things serious, and you know that, you know, if you want to look after other people, you need to be able to look after yourself first and foremost.
Wow, that's putting it out to the guards there now, isn't it?
The guards are amazing as well. You know, we look at the guards.
They shine their boots as well.
They do, no, they're amazing too.
Now, let's talk about, you got interested in children and fire safety. You've got a couple of books. Your new one is called Susie Saves the Day.
Yeah.
What's this about?
So basically, I got involved with a thing in the fire service called Keep the Community Safe programme, where they go around third classes and they speak about fire safety, and I got involved in that programme. I was accepted into it, and as I was going into tour classes, I came home and I already had a passion for writing. And I spoke to my wife and I said, I feel like children could understand this stuff from an earlier age. I feel like junior, senior infants, because my own children did, because I was in the fire brigade, so I taught them. So I figured, like, you know, if parents knew that they could teach their children this, and I know it's scary, if we could make it easy, we could create books that taught fire safety in a fun, family, educational way, that children might have the knowledge to go and help themselves.
It's interesting, some of the tips that you have here. Make sure your children know that their address, their postcodes, their air code. Make sure that they know how to dial emergency 999. Like, how important is it for you to talk to your children? Because I have a 7 and a 5-year-old, and I probably haven't discussed it.
Yeah, and most people don't, because it's like the educational system doesn't bring it into third class, so the parents are so busy they just don't think of it. But it's so important because, especially with the second book, Susie Saves the Day, should children be at home with a parent or a guardian and something happens to that adult, you know, if your children aren't taught, they might panic. But if you teach the children how to use your phone, how to get into it, how to call 999 or 112, and they might be able to read. If their 7-year-old can read, they'll be able to relay all the information on a safety chart, which we actually have on our website. If you can see...
This is quickthinkingkids.com.
Yes, and we have these charts that children can print off, and they can ring 999 or 112, and in the book, the little girl learns how to use the chart through imaginative play, where a teddy bear and her father teaches her, and she has an accident in the granddad's house. She saves her granddad by using the chart. Wow. So we've got the same charts that can be found on our website.
So you said your children know that you've been talking to them all the time. So what are the top tips that you would say are important for children to know?
The most important thing for children to know is that they should really stay calm and understand that the key to dealing with a fire, say, is to prevent it. So all you need to know is, you know, don't leave your electrical things plugged in at night. Make sure you have your exits and entries clear, and make sure you have a plan in place should the inevitable, you know, happen. If a fire's going to happen, you want to know that you can, you know, get out of the bed safely. Don't stand up in the smoke. Stay down low. Crawl on floors. Find your exit doors and get out.
Okay.
Yeah, really interesting, some of the little tips here. They stand out, and it's so easy for kids.
It's actually simple, and they don't get scared. Like my daughters love to create their plans, get out of the house. You know, even if I'm in the shower and the door's open and the steam sets off the smoke alarm, my 6-year-old's like, fire safety plan. And she's like, right, let's go. And I'm like, no, it's just a shower. You know.
She's always prepared.
Yeah, and you can see the 3-year-old's ears pricking up. Well, what are we doing now?
And learning it so much.
Yeah.
So what's this you're holding here? Fire escape plan.
So this is a fire escape plan, briefly, that I just drew here. So if you're teaching your children, you say, this is your room and you need to keep the exit clear. And the little lines will be the path to the stairs, and then down the stairs and out to the exit. And it's just putting that in their head that if something should go wrong, that they know what to do.
Yeah.
Do you know, and they follow the plan. And it's basically just structure, like teaching children ABCs or 1, 2, 3.
And it always, I remember, one thing I always remember from school is like drop to the ground.
Yeah, so stay down low because smoke rises. So the further you are to the ceiling, the closer you are to the smoke. So if you stay down low, you have a clearer path and you're not on any damaging toxins.
Would you encourage kids to stay in the room? If they're in their own room and they hear the alarm, should they wait for the adults to come to them, keep the door closed, or do you think...
No, so you'd close doors at night, you know, to stop smoke spreading. But if the smoke alarm goes, you would generally have a couple of minutes to get out of the house. So if you've practiced your plan, you can stay calm and you come out. Obviously, if you open the door and you see fire, you close the door and you cover the bottom of the door. But if it's safe to exit the house, then you follow your plan and you exit. And if you close all the doors and your smoke alarms go, you will generally have a couple of minutes to get out of the house safely.
Okay.
I'd say the drills going on in your house is something else. The neighbours looking in going, they're at it again.
So what age do you think, should we be talking to our kids? As young as possible?
As young as possible, from the age that they can start talking. So I have a social media page called Quick Thinking Kids as well, and we put tips up every day in terms of fire safety, safety in the home, helmet safety, and we'd be encouraging kids from the age that they're going on bicycles at just a young age. Everything, just we give tips. Brilliant. Any advice people have, they reach out to us through the social media, and we'll literally from the age they can start talking.
Helmet safety, that's incredible. Quickthinkingkids.com. Susie Says Today is the brand new book here, and this was the first one. Get Out Safely with Firefighter, Zippy, the 2 books. Thank you so much for joining us. John Edmonds from the Dublin Fire Brigade, thanks a million for joining us.
Thank you guys,
Cheers.
really appreciate
John,
it.
enjoyed that.
Thank you.
Back with you at Ireland Day in just a minute.
Learn something new every day.
Stop, drop and roll.